Hey guys, I'm gonna see if I can explain this without sounding like a complete idiot. Not sure that I can. I was watching an old pool video a little while ago, and the announcers said something that reminds me of how irritating and how wrong they can be when they try to. I don't know. I can't even say they try to explain it because they don't ever explain it. In this particular case, they don't explain it. So, in the last video I did, I talked about this shot a lot. These two balls frozen together, one ball off the rail, and I showed on this table a dead-on shot. That 14 won't go in. It'll hit the point, but won't go in. What I want to talk about now, though, is not if these balls are frozen, but if they're close. And close varies. Usually what I hear the announcers say is a quarter inch. So let me take this ball, this 13 is now a quarter inch off the 14. And so many times the announcers will say, "Oh, but it's within a quarter inch, so it'll throw. So you can throw it. It's within a quarter inch." But like there's some magic tendrils that can tell how close these two balls are together, and they can reach across a quarter inch gap and make it throw. But if it was 3/8, no way in hell. That's crazy talk. They never expand on that. They just say, "Oh, it's within a quarter inch, it'll throw." I don't know if they're assuming it's common knowledge, or they're just trying to show off what they have that passes for knowledge, or something that they read in a book somewhere, or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about it a little bit and try to explain what they haven't been explaining to me. Maybe everybody else gets it, but I don't. So these two balls, this combination is no longer frozen. It is still wired straight for that point. And just like everything I talked about in my last video, it can be thrown in. But I do have a gap now, and this makes it tough. In order to get the 14 to throw to my right, I still have to cut the 13 to my right, so it rubs against the 14 when it goes past it. But because there's a gap there, it's not going to hit the same place on the 14. In other words, when they're frozen, I know exactly where the 13 is going to hit the 14 because it's already there. It's already touching that point. But if they're not frozen, there's a gap. The 13 has to go over here before it even gets to the 14. So when they're frozen, you might not be able to see this from the camera. When they're frozen, that combination is lined up for that point. But if they're not frozen, because I still have to cut the 13 this way to get it to throw, it's going to come in more like this. Now, if I get the ball to not rock back, now this combination, by the time the two balls are touching, is lined up for about here. And what I think they're talking about is, in a situation like this, it's still pretty close to going into the pocket. This ball can still be thrown in. And I'm just going to find out this ball can be thrown in. I believe it can. So center ball, half ball head on 13. It can't. At least that time when I hit it, it couldn't. I think it was a possible shot. We take the same crap again. This time, I'm going to put, an inch between the 6 and the 10 in this case. Maybe this will help to explain a little bit better. So this combination is lined up for that point. In order to throw this combination towards that pocket, I have to get the 6 to rub against the 10 and the 6 to go that way. But by the time it gets up there, hell, I'm cutting the 10 towards the middle diamond or something like that. If I come back here, let's just assume these balls are all the same distance from the rail and this combination is still lined up for that point. In order to get the 6 to rub against the 10 and throw the 10 this way, it's going to be over here somewhere. I'm almost looking to combo it into that pocket. So sure, I'm still going to get throw, but there's no freaking way it's going to go into that pocket. No way. That's what they're talking about. One of the things they're talking about when they say, well, it's close. When the balls are close together, even though I'm no longer hitting that same point on the 10 ball, I'm still hitting pretty close to it. By the time that the 6 gets up there, it's still hitting pretty close to it. And I can throw the shot quite a bit. So that's what they're talking about when they say it's close to it, we'll throw. The shots always throw. All cut shots throw, unless you magically counteract it with English, and you can only do that on some shots. There are no magic tendrils going between the balls and going, oh, it's only a 1/4 inch, therefore it'll throw. No, it's not what it is. It's, by the time the 6 gets up to the 10, it's still close enough, and the combination line is still close enough to that pocket that can be thrown in. If I'm back here and I still have to rub against that 10 to throw it, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So that's one of the things that they're talking about. When they go, well, it's close, so it'll throw. They don't say that. They just say, well, it's close, so it'll throw. The other thing is, this is actually something I should have mentioned in my last video. I didn't. It didn't come up. I didn't remember it. So, these two balls frozen. This is the example that I was using a lot in my last video. Cue ball hits the 6. The 6 is, by definition, sliding. Even though it's not really sliding, it's already on the 10. It's not going to pick up any forward roll. It's not going to have any draw on it. It's just going to immediately hit the 10. If I'm within a 1/4 inch, we're probably talking about the same thing. No matter where I hit the 6, by the time it hits the 10, it's probably still going to just be sliding. And you get the most throw, the most interaction between those balls when the first ball is sliding. The second ball is stationary. The 10 ball is stationary. The 6 is moving into it. If the 6 is sliding, you're going to get more interaction, more throw. If the 6 had picked up some roll, or if I put some roll on it somehow, it's not going to be as much. And that's another thing that they haven't, the announcers that I've seen haven't gone into that. So, this is why. So within a 1/4 inch, sure, the 6 probably isn't going to pick up any forward roll at all. Move it back. That's like an inch right there. It could pick up some roll, which would lessen the throw. Plus the fact that it's an inch off. And by the time the 6 gets up there, that combination line is way off. Back here, almost certainly going to have some forward roll. Unless I slam it and make the 6 slide all the way up there. But again, then it's going to be way the heck off. Because the 6 has to rub against this 10 to throw it. It has to do that. That's what they're talking about, in my opinion, when they say, well, if it's within a 1/4 inch, it'll throw. They all throw. But it could be, you could use that throw in that case. In this case, is what, 6 inches between the balls? I'm not going to try to throw this 10 in, okay? I'm going to shoot a combo, cut the 6 to my left a little bit. I'm horrible at combinations, if I never mentioned that. Horrible. It's embarrassing, really. Yeah. Horrible combinations. Remember when I said that 5 seconds ago? I am. If these balls are only a 1/4 inch apart, I could still treat this like a combination. I'm going to set these up off the rail like they're supposed to be. I feel like I've lost that. So the combination is lined up for that point, but they're a quarter of an inch difference. I can cut the 10 way to my left and then let the 10 cut the 6 in. Because a pretty thin cut on a 10, pretty hard to judge because they're all close together. Can't really see the contact points from back here. They're a pretty tough shot. It's an easier shot in this case because they're so close to try to do that throw thing because it's within a 1/4 inch it'll throw. But I could do it out of the way. In theory, I could do it out of the way. If I was good enough, I could cut the 6 to my left, or cut the 10 to my left, sorry, which would cut the 6 back this way and make the shot. I could do it that way, or I could cut the 10 to my right, have it rub against the 6, and throw it in the pocket, because this combo line, by the time the 6 gets up there, it's still going to be pretty close, probably close enough to throw in. If I come back, it's no longer the case. My only option is to shoot a combination on this, to line this up. Shoot a regular combination, not a throw type of combination. Let's see if I can actually make one this time. Probably not. I am horrible at combinations. Hey, I made that one though. Not that I have them mastered, but I did make that one. Anyway, see this all the time, especially like in one pocket. There'll be a bunch of balls, you know, the whole cluster, and they'll go, oh, well, that 10-5 looks close, but not quite. Oh, but it's within a 1/4 inch, so they can throw it in. Let's see if he knows the shot. That type of crap. I have more than a 1/4 inch right there. I probably have a 1/2 inch right there. Sure, if I shoot the 10 dead on in this direction, they're lined up for about here, it's going to throw the 5 more towards that pocket. But it's also going to cut the 5 more away from the pocket, just because of the gap. Nobody, they never explain that. I don't want to say nobody. The announcers never bothered to explain that. They just say, this magic 1/4 inch distance, oh, it'll throw now. I don't like it when they do that, when they don't explain it, and they leave people like me, when I was first starting to learn how to play, going, well, is there magic tendrils, or what the hell is going on? So now that I've said all that, the other thing that I wanted to say was, speaking of magic tendrils, I guess, I believe, let's see, what was I going to say? How can I demonstrate this? I don't know how to demonstrate anything anymore. I believe that with these two balls stuck together, frozen to each other, that I can throw the ball more because they're already touching than I can if there's even the slightest, teeniest gap. There's probably crap. A 1/16 of an inch right there is all. That's the only gap there is. I believe I can throw the ball more if they're frozen. And I'm not a physicist, but I have played pool for an awful long time. I believe that when two balls are frozen together, they're a little bit, they stick together just a little bit. Magic tendril shit, in this case, because they're frozen, they're, I don't know, they're swapping atoms or something, or electrons, or some physicsy crap is happening. I believe there is more friction if they're frozen and then this ball moves than if they're not frozen and this ball hits it with a glancing blow. Even if it starts out only a 1/16 of an inch away, it's still a glancing blow as opposed to being stuck to it and then moving. This is just what I think, and kind of what I've seen, you know, throughout my career. It's not much of a difference, but it is a difference, and it can help. You have shots that are close. You're not sure if you can make it. You know, if there's no gap at all, you're going to have better odds of making it, of throwing it enough. If there's even the teeny tiniest gap, you know, depending on the situation, that makes it less probable that you're going to get enough throw. If your goal is maximum throw on a shot, you can do the whole half ball hit thing. You can make sure that the cue ball is sliding. You get the most cut or whatever on the first object ball. The second, or the first object ball will be sliding in the second object ball because it's close. But if I want to throw this shot in, I don't think it'll go on this table. These look like they'll line up for about a half diamond. I don't think I can throw this 5 in, even though there's a teeny tiny gap. Looks like about 1/8 of an inch. So let's just do just the half ball thing, right? So this 10 is hitting this 5 half ball hit. It threw it, didn't throw it enough. Assuming I could set everything up exactly the same way again, which I won't, but I'll be close. This time, they're frozen together. In theory, still lined up in the same direction, but now instead of an 1/8 of an inch gap, they're frozen together. The same thing, half ball hit on the 5. I believe I get more throw doing this because those two balls are stuck together than I got the other one. Now, I'll look at this footage and I'll either see if there was a difference or not. You guys will look at the footage and decide if I'm an idiot or not. I didn't say it was much of a difference, but I do believe there is a little bit of a difference if balls are frozen together. And I think that's probably all I wanted to say on this particular video. I can't think of anything else right now. And I'll probably think of something else and fire up the camera again. But I do that a lot. And so for now, I'm just going to stop this. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Thanks, guys.